Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. Local installation, local monitoring. When it comes to security systems, that's what you need. You need people right here. You need to be able to pick up a phone. Hey, there's something wrong. Boom, they come over, they fix it. Hey, I need this in today. Can you install it? Boom, they come over and do it. Call VFL JJ Surlis and ask him about their great deals. You're not going to find a better contract with any national company, I can tell you that. Safety Systems. All right. One program is currently ahead of the other. But, although basketball is ahead of the football program at UT right now, in my view, it's a little tougher to get to a Final Four in basketball. You look at Duke's having to hang on for dear life, and they're the best team in the tournament, really, talent-wise. You got to go through 6 victories, whereas in football, you got to be good in the SEC, but it's a shorter season, and you really only have to be voted into that Final Four. Again, though, basketball ahead of football. So my question, which Tennessee team, football or basketball, makes it to its Final Four first?
I mean, I got to go basketball. And you look at the college football playoff, I mean, it's the same teams every year. There's a reason why we're getting ready to look at, Bama, Clemson, part 8 in 2021. I mean, they're not going anywhere. And I think basketball, you got to get hot. You got to win 4 games in 2 weeks. Football, you got to be hot for 3 months. You got to beat Georgia. You got to beat Bama. You probably got to beat Bama again. Maybe Auburn again. Maybe Auburn a second time. There's just a lot of stuff you got to go through. And you look at building a program, it's harder to build and sustain. If you get 1 or 2 top 10 picks on your team, all of a sudden, it's probably 50-50 you're going to be in the Final Four. It's just easier to build. So I'd definitely go basketball.
Yeah, on the football side, John, until you no longer have to ask us about the offensive and defensive lines, I have a hard time choosing that side. So I'm going to go basketball. You don't have to be.
See either of them being particularly close.
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee basketball would be closer, but as you saw this year, it's difficult to get there.
Yeah, if Grant and Bone do come back, though, I think you're talking about a preseason top 10 team, so you're in play, and that is an if right now. Also, you don't have to actually be a great team, though, to make the Final Four. You can just go on a run. Football, you do have to get back to, I think, a great level in terms of being one of the 4 best teams in college football. You do have to be that to get in. Basketball, you don't necessarily.
I'm new to Tennessee. Am I allowed to mention the average team that made the Final Four last year? Am I going to get kicked off the set? Just a thought. Go ahead.
My answer on this has changed since we first discussed it. I actually thought basketball at first. The more I've thought about this, I think it's football because, yeah, I'm going with history on this. Tennessee's never made a Final Four in basketball. In football, they've won championships before. It's a championship-level program traditionally. They've got to get back to it. They've never won the SEC in its current state, but I think in the next couple decades, you could see it. And we're talking about winning the SEC, essentially, because the SEC champion goes to the college football playoff. They'll win an SEC championship in the near future.
How many times has Tennessee finished in the top 4 in football versus top 4 in basketball? Yeah. Now, you're right. It doesn't take that. Very quickly, 30 seconds.
I would think basketball, because you get 1 or 2 guys, like you mentioned, it's easier to get those great players, whereas football, you've got to have a whole slew of really talented guys. Then the other side of it is Pruitt, up and coming, whereas Barnes, you could say he's on his last 5 or 6 years. And so I think football has it going for them that they've got a coach that's building, so they may be able to do it. But I think right now I would say basketball.
Mark Pankratz, thanks for a good season. We appreciate it. We'll see you back here, I'm sure, when news breaks basketball-wise. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to Mike and Chuck from earlier. Thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to you. See you next week.